Hello, this is the first of some reading videos that I'm hoping to do, and I thought I'd start with a story that we've already had in year 2 and the children enjoyed. I'm not going to stop and talk about different parts of the story and ask questions, but that's the kind of thing I do in class and the kind of thing you might be able to do with your child if possible. A reminder that the reading vipers, which we've given out a few times, are some useful prompts for that. And another idea is once they've maybe watched the story once and I've read it to them, you might want to have them play back the video but mute the sound so that they can read along the story themselves and practice their own reading. And you could slow the speed down to maybe 0.75 or 0.5 and then the children can read it themselves. Lastly, before we start, there's a few questions that you might want to talk about and some ideas for things that you could do. You could discuss Simon's feelings in the story at various points. Talk about who else he might pair with other than the glove and the straw and so on that he does. Discuss what makes a good friend. And for a writing activity, perhaps you could write a story about something else that's looking for its partner, like a knife that's looking for a fork or a pair of shin pads. Okay. So, Sue Hendra and Paul Linnett, Simon Sock. This is the team that wrote Snowball and also the Super Tato series. Simon Sock by Sue Hendra and Paul Linnett, illustrated by Nick East. Simon is extremely stripy. He lives in the sock drawer with all the other socks. It's very cosy in there. The spider's on every page, by the way. See if you can spot it. Every morning, all the socks in the drawer get very excited. Who will it be today? Then in comes the hand and, pick me, pick me. Everybody waits, holding their breath. And 2 socks get picked to go on an adventure. The Sparklies go to parties. The Woolies go to the park. The Smarts go to school. And the Sporties go for the burn. Ready, steady, go. Everyone has a turn. Everyone except Simon. I'm not a smelly sock, and I'm not a holy sock. Why don't I ever have a turn? Because you're odd, says Spotty. The other Spotty agrees. Yes, you only get picked if you're a pair. Oh, I didn't realise I was odd, said Simon. Maybe the Spotties are right. If only I was a pair. We could skate, we could bounce, we could hula, we could have so much fun, said Simon sadly. I've got it, shouts Ted, jumping to his feet. I've got a friend and he's stripy just like you, Simon. Come on, he lives in the hall. Simon, this is Alphonse. Alphonse, this is Simon. And everything was going well. Until in walked Petra. Oh, silly me, said Ted. I forgot they were already a pair. Don't worry though, Simon. I have another stripy friend. Simon, meet Shirley, said Ted, hopefully. Shirley was very excited, but Simon was a little bit nervous. I'm not sure about this, Ted, said Simon. What about Desmond? Said Ted, but Desmond just stared. He's not very chatty, is he? Said Simon. No, not really, replied Ted. But we can't give up now. I have lots of stripy friends. What about Bobby? But I can't swim, whispered Simon. Deborah, the stripy bug? She's very tiny, Ted. I might step on her. What about Jeff? Said Ted. He's very musical. He's very noisy. Hattie? Too chatty. Trevor? No way. Well, you're pleased to know I've saved the best for last, said Ted proudly. Simon, meet Mr. Twinklepaws. No! Meow. Simon had had enough. It's just no good, Ted. I just need to get used to being an odd sock, he said sadly. But then he heard a voice. It was coming from under the drawers. Hello? Simon couldn't believe it. I found you, he cried. We're a pair. We can skate, we can bounce, we can hula. Come on, said Simon. Let's go out and play. But Simone had other ideas. Oh. I like going out, said the voice. Betty gave Simon a wave. Simon waved back. I like playing, said Betty. So they skated and they bounced and they hula hooped. Everyone had to admit that even though they didn't match, they really did make a great pair.